understanding of the unknownness of a terrain that deepens and deepens and deepens and has no definite destination. Yeah? Very often when I speak with people about meditation and their practice, in whichever form it takes, and it takes many forms, there's a sense that meditation is a tool, if you like, for feeling good. And I suggest that you throw that idea out. I suggest that you practice not meditation, but beginner's mind. Yeah? True meditation. So don't use silence as a safety zone. So with that, with beginner's mind, simply sitting, not looking for being comfortable, not looking for feeling better, not looking for relief from the busyness of mind, not looking for anything, but simply seeing. Looking and seeing are different. Looking has an agenda. You're looking for something. Seeing is openness. Just seeing. Just being open to what is here. The vista is unknown. It's unbounded. Only your mind can create a boundary to it. And in creating a boundary to that vista, you have limited it, you have contained it, you have packaged it, you have killed it. It is dead. It is not the aliveness of what is. And that might be a temporary relief, a temporary safety zone, but ultimately that is not true fulfillment. That is not true freedom. There'll still be a seeking for something else, something more, something deeper, something truer. So, just sitting, just seeing. Nothing more, nothing less. There's such a flapping about on the surface of life. On the surface of the human experience. Flapping about where there is this attention given to the accumulation of experiences, the accumulation of mental constructs, the accumulation of beliefs, the accumulation of spiritual experiences or spiritual states. And yet what we really yearn for is to stop flapping about. On the surface where the waves are, but to dive deep into the verticality of being. This deep dive unknown to us, or is unknown to the mind, to the mind that is always acquiring this and that. So it's like falling off the edge. So falling into the abyss where nothing is known, and yet everything is opened to. And yet along the way we may meet everything. When we speak of dark experiences coming up as we deepen, this is part of the deep dive. This is part of the openness to what has previously been hidden, what has previously not been seen. So to welcome this, to welcome it not with the mind that just wants a good experience or a nice experience or a spiritual experience or an awakened experience, but to welcome it with your deepest knowingness, the knowingness that is not of the mind, that is of the being, that is of the truth in you meeting the truth of what is. And this includes everything. Everything. All the horrible bits, all the ugly bits, all the dark bits, all the painful bits. Everything is included in this deep dive to come home. Because everything yearns to come home. To return back to the unbounded formlessness of that which we might be calling being. That which exists before anything is born, any form is born. And that which continues to exist after that form dies. And all forms are included here, not just the body, but the forms that we call thoughts and the forms that we call feelings. So the deep dive into the verticality of being, which stops this horizontal movement on the surface, where we're constantly running towards something or running away from something. This vertical dimension is really a penetration of that which is appearing in the field of your experience, whether it be a thought, a feeling, some kind of energetic contraction, a sensation. This verticality, this vertical dimension is a penetration of that and an opening to it. So it has a depth and a breadth. And that depth and breadth, when fully entered into, brings you home. Brings you to the discovery that which underlies all forms. And yet includes all forms. So very often on the spiritual search we want things to be peaceful or calm, for the turmoil to stop. So we go looking for some kind of state where nothing happens, just this endless state of peace. Once again, not looking for anything, simply seeing what is here, seeing with this dimension of verticality, depth, seeing into something, not looking for the outcome or looking for the answer, not looking to fix it, not looking to change it. Simply seeing into its true nature. Seeing through the belief or the picture, the conceptualization of your own mind that says this should or shouldn't be happening. That this is good or this is bad. This is right, this is wrong. Seeing through that, because that is not the true nature of what is happening. That is simply a construct that gets in the way of true seeing. To see into something is to penetrate through all belief systems, through all structures of the mind. To be open and curious as to what its true nature really is. It is a meditation, it's a living meditation. It's not something that you have to sit for half an hour each day and do. Your life experience and the depth of your seeing is the meditation itself. Be open and curious in meeting whatever appears in the field of your experience. All the way. All the way. And at the same time, there's an openness to that. An inclusion of that. They go together. A widening to that. A softening. A softening. I said a softening. Of the aperture of consciousness that sees.
The cat.
So the invitation is to a living meditation. Living satsang. Not just 30 minutes a day, or 2 hours a day, or 10 minutes a day, or a 24/7 full-time job There's nothing else. This is it. This is it. So that part that wants to acquire another spiritual practice or another whatever, another tool or another method or another teaching or in order to achieve some kind of state that conforms to your idea of what freedom is, conforms to your idea of what spiritual liberation is. Yeah, that's futile. That's futile. You can throw that out. Throw that part out. You don't need it. It doesn't serve you. Bring your attention, turn your attention away from acquisition. Turn your attention to seeing what is here, always, always. Not sometimes, not when you feel like it. Not when you're being spiritual, not when things are going your way. Always. Everything is included in that. Every sound, every noise, every irritation, every disturbance. Everything that is inside and outside. It's all inside anyway because it's your experience. Everything that appears in this field of experience that is called your life is included. Everything is a teacher. Yeah, everything is a guru. Everything is an invitation to satsang. This satsang is just a reminder of that. Yeah? A little kick in the right direction. A little push, a nudge to turn your attention away from the horizontality of the normal human experience, that which we've become habituated to, and into the verticality of existence, which is always available. It's always here. It's not somewhere else. It's here. All that changes is the direction of your attention. And nobody can give you this. This is your choice. You can only be reminded. See if there's anything that arises that wants to be shared or asked. Seeing is not so much a how-to. It's not so much something that you can learn how to do. It's more about honesty. It's more about telling the truth as to what is here.
Okay, that makes it easier.
Yeah? So when something appears, yeah, something is happening, and and say it's challenging, yeah? Or difficult, or it's some, I don't know, an emotional density to it, maybe that's been carried from the past, that's here now. To see that means to see and tell the truth about what your direct experience is as it's appearing. And when we really tell that truth, then it will have a story to it, usually one that says it shouldn't be happening. So that's where you start. Ah. So the closest experience to me, what is close right here? This thought, this belief, this shouldn't be happening, is right here. So to meet that and tell the truth about it is simply that. Yeah? Most often, most people don't even get to that. Yeah? Because there isn't an examination, if you like, or an inquiry as to what is really here. Yeah? There is simply an absolute getting lost in that belief. Yeah? It's like not seeing it. It's taken as fact. But to see it is to just say, here is this idea, here is this belief I'm having, here is this very strong kind of attachment to this idea that this shouldn't be happening. Simply that starts to open the aperture of consciousness around it, seems to soften the mind around it. And then the possibility to see a little more deeply than that. Because when you see in that way, that particular construct is simply an idea in the mind, starts to have less substance to it. And then something else emerges, and it may be another emotion, or the actual real sensation of the emotion. And then to be honest with that. So seeing in this vertical way, if you like, is simply seeing what is here, and seeing what is here, and seeing what is here, because it actually keeps changing. It doesn't change when we remain in the it shouldn't be happening, as an example. Do you see? So it's not really a how-to, it's an allowing, and being honest with what is your most intimate experience now. What is your most intimate experience now? What is your most intimate experience now? And so on, and so on, and so on. And initially, this may be something that we have to give our attention to consciously. But actually it's very natural. Yeah, and eventually it becomes just an organic process. Because that's the nature of seeing, which is your true nature. It's almost like the veils, the energetic veils that prevent true seeing are cleared or start to dissolve. You know, it's like having a diamond, and you are that diamond. And that is your true nature, your natural state. And the light of clear seeing shines through that diamond. But then there's all this dust that accumulates over this lifetime or the previous lifetime. And that dust of the beliefs and concepts and the constructs of our conditioned self that start to accumulate on the surface. So you're really polishing that diamond. But you don't polish it by finding a cloth to rub off the dust. You polish it by seeing from truth, seeing from what is true, seeing from the inside. And the light of that clear seeing starts to dissolve or burn away that dust. So always ask yourself, what is my most intimate experience here? Whether it's a thought or a feeling or whatever it is. Being true with that. Being true to yourself. So hard for the mind to grasp, because when something challenging is happening, when we're experiencing a dark feeling or an emotion that has a lot of density to it, we get lost in that. And then there's this attempt, even though it's not a conscious attempt, but a subconscious attempt to want to get rid of it, to want to reject it. And we try to reject it or get rid of it by denying it, by not seeing it clearly, as if we could, just push it away slightly and look in another direction. That would get rid of it, but it doesn't. It doesn't dissolve it. That contraction, that density, it stays rock hard. So it's really like turning your attention towards it, welcoming it, and seeing what is preventing that. And what prevents it is always our ideas, our mental constructs about not wanting it, not liking it, wishing it wasn't here, believing that there's something better than this. Yeah? So this is the horizontal mind that lives in the hope of something better. If only I got rid of this, if only this went away, then life would be better, then I would be at peace. That's a hope. Don't live on hope. It doesn't bring true freedom. That's a hope. And much of the spiritual search is built on that hope. So just be very honest with yourself and see that. As soon as it's seen, it has no hold over you. You don't have to do anything to change it. Just see it. See that mechanism. The running away from that which hurts and the running towards that which is believed to bring salvation. Believed to bring salvation. It's not bringing salvation now. It can't be, because you're living in hope. And that's not now. That's some idea of the future, even if it's the next moment. It's still an idea. Yeah? So watch that mechanism, that seeing. Just watch. See it. See the subtle, and it gets ever more subtle. See the subtle movement. You don't have to get rid of that. You don't have to change that. Just see it. And in that seeing, you have the capacity, you are given the potential in that seeing, you are given the power in that seeing to turn your attention to that which is true, to stop giving your allegiance to the horizontality of that movement, of that mechanism. That's all that's happening here, is we've given our devotion, we've given our 100% allegiance to the mechanism of mind, the mechanism of ego, that part that is constantly running away from and constantly running towards. And it happens on subtle levels. It happens in the microcosm of this moment and each moment. Yeah? As you start seeing that, you start to penetrate that mechanism. You start to see the futility of it. You start to see that it's just a mechanism. It's not the truth. And then, in that seeing, you're given a choice. You don't have that choice when you don't have the seeing. You're just stuck in that. Yeah? You're given the choice to turn your attention, to give your devotion something more true than that mechanism. That's the only practice you really need. Because eventually it brings you to silence.